Then when I moved out here, it was difficult getting work because it was the early internet, man. Unless you had like literally a hard copy of tape or a DVD, and back then, a whole lot of places taped their stuff.
Yeah.
And then even if they did, you had to hope that you could get a copy of that, or that they would find the time or make the time to make you one. So it took me. I moved out here in October. I don't think I had my first show in California until I want to say early the next year, like March or April, maybe the next year, just because, and I don't blame them, like me reaching out to places and being like, hey, I just moved out here. These are the places I've worked. I don't have any footage. As far as you know, because you've never heard of me, this could all be fake.
Yeah.
So I can't really blame anyone for not, want to be the first one to dive on the hand grenade.
How was that with like, were you just sending out emails or were you going to shows and trying to help out? Like, what was your mindset when it came to seeking out bookings? Because when we talked to Yuma, one thing he talked about early on is he didn't kind of grasp making contacts at first. It took him a while for that to click. And once he did, he was like, okay, now I know to reach out. I know to ask for bookings. I know to, but it took a while for that to kind of click in his head. Was that you at this? Because at this point, you were already several years in, but you were
I'm new.
only working a few places in Oklahoma. So it wasn't the same.
Yeah, yeah. So even when I had traveled back home, but like I'm new here. I am new. As
Mm-hmm.
far as they know, because it's not like I had a giant following that I was bringing with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as a fan base, I'm new. I might as well be starting over, and that's fine. Sometimes that's what you do when you move. That's how that goes. But you just got in. You get to work. You go in. What was I doing? I wasn't going to shows because for the most part, I didn't know when they were. Like I said, these were MySpace days
Yeah.
at best. So I'm sending MySpace messages to promoters trying to get some sort of attention, some sort of question. My girlfriend, the photographer, Ruby Ray's. It's
Oh,
Ruby
okay.
Ray.
I,
Or I forget.
what's her name in
Uh,
Women and Wow? Oh,
uh,
I'm blanking
Reina Del
now.
Rey.
Yeah.
So yeah, Reina Del Rey, the Queen of Kings, or the King. I think that's right. Either way, so she was a photographer at the time, and like she had worked in several shows, so she knew people. So like I was trying to like go, like we were trying to. She was trying to find out when shows were happening, so then we could go, so I could actually be like, "Hello, I am a like that sort of deal." And then the way it ended up, I ended up on an Epic Pro show. It was run by Gary Yap. So even when I got on shows, at this point, Epic Pro had been a thing at one point in SoCal. And man, I had a tendency of getting on places right before they came, at least in this case, right before it became real controversial. The guy who ran it didn't have the best reputation,
Oh,
as I found out later. I didn't know any better at the time.
yeah.
And I don't know if I would have cared at the time because it was a place to start.
Yeah. You needed that. You need to get your foot in somewhere.
Yeah. I said, and from there, I did get work other places, but I also wonder if it because some other people later on saw me coming from there.
If that could
There
have
was an
hurt.
association. Yeah, that sort of thing. Because I
They,
felt it took a while for me to get on like a lot of the better shows. I don't mean this in a bad way, but your better shows in SoCal at the time, like your SoCal Pro, like to get out of LA proper and out of like the one or two places I could get to book me there, like trying to get down to San Diego, I think sometimes associations might have hurt you.